Alrighty, hello. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Anna. I recently came upon like a super crazy story about my life. So I just want to share it with you all. Maybe someone went through the same thing or wants to go through the same thing. I don't know. But I think you'd benefit from it. If not, it's a really good story. It's like a Lifetime movie. You would enjoy it. So before I begin, a little just disclaimer. This is my perspective of what has happened and what is happening. I'm not putting any words in anyone's mouth. Like, again, this is just from my point of view. Also, I'm going to be changing names so, no one gets offended. People are going to be offended, but, so like no one can be like, oh, that's definitely you. That's definitely you. I'm going to change names for those reasons. For those of you who know me, you know that I recently connected with my biological dad. It's definitely been a roller coaster, and it's definitely too much to say in one video, so I'm gonna make like several like little episodes, keep you on the edge about what's happening. It's definitely been crazy, so I'm just gonna get like right to it. I have the sniffles, I know, don't worry, it's not anything serious. Okay, so July of last year, I was just like at home. It was July 1st. I was at home. I was just like going through my Facebook. I know, like, I'm old, I have Facebook. Yes, I do, and I use it often, and I'm proud. So I was going through my Facebook, and like when you get a message on Facebook from someone that's not your friend, it doesn't like pop up, right? It just like randomly shows up somehow. I don't even know how I found it, right? So I seen a message from my guy, and I was like, oh, who the heck is this guy trying to talk to me, right? So I'm like, okay, whatever. I opened it, and the message was from May 29. I'm opening it on July 1st, okay? And this is what the message said, ready? It was like, hello, Annalicia, you're blah blah blah's daughter, right? No easy way for me to say this. However, I may be your father. We have the same hair and most definitely the same dimples. I want to know the truth. I don't know what else to say. I was like, what? Right? I was like Adrian, my son, I'll say his name, Adrian, and my boyfriend, Junior, were playing, and I was like, stop playing right now. Read this message that I just got, right? It was like weird because, like, a little background, like, growing up, I didn't like have a dad, whatever, it's very common. And like I remember like being in elementary school, like on the playground, my friends would be like, oh my god, my dad is so fun, he gives me piggyback rides, we do this and that, and I would literally tell them like, hey guys, can we not talk about our dads because I don't have one, right? They respected it. They're like, okay, sorry, right? Whatever. And like, so yeah, whatever. I went upon my life thinking I don't have dad, whatever. And then I was like 9, I think, and 9, 10, and I went to the fair, right? The San Mateo fair, super famous fair, whatever, right? I'm walking, like little me, and my mom's like, oh my god, Anna, look, over there, that's your dad, right? I'm like, what? Right? So it was so awkward. She's like we walk up to them, and he like hugs me, and I'm like, I don't know you, right? He was like with his wife and another kid, and I'm like, okay, awkward, right? From there, whatever, like he would like come over like once a week and see me, and it was like always awkward. And then it was like once a week to once a month to once every few months to whenever he wanted, right? So like we never had a relationship. And then as I got older and I had my son, I tried like building a relationship, but then I was like, it just wasn't working. Like every time I was with this dude, I like felt weird, or like it didn't, like there was no connection. Like I was like awkward. This is a forced relationship, like on both parties, and it wasn't cool, right? So like we never talked really, and it's just we never had like that bonding relationship. And I was like, okay, this sucks. Like I really rather like just not talk to you than me feel this awkward, whatever it is, right? But it like didn't bother me because I was like used to it already, you know. Fast forward, okay, so I get this message and I'm like, what the heck, right? And then I look through his Facebook and I show Junior and he's like, oh, that's definitely your dad, like for sure. And I was like, what? Right? I'm like, oh my god, okay. So then I immediately call my mom and I was like, Mom, do you know somebody named blah 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 blah? And she's like, yeah, why? Is he trying to say that he's your dad or something? Because he's not. I was like, yeah, that is what he's trying to say, right? And she's like, just block him because he's not your dad. Don't even like worry about it, right? And I was like, skeptical. Okay, bye. So then I call my grandma, right? And I call my grandma, I'm like, hey, do you know this guy named blah, blah, blah? And she's like, wow, I haven't heard that name in a long time. Yes, I do, right? I was like, perfect. Okay, how long, like, before my mom got with my dad, did she get with this guy, right? The guy that messaged me. Or reverse, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, how long was the separation? And she's like, honestly, it wasn't long. I'm like, okay, well, this dude's trying to say that he's my dad, so, like, what the heck is going on here? And she's like, well, I mean, like, I don't know, your mom always said that you were blah blah blah's kid, so, and then, you know, when you were born, you just looked like him, so she just, like, said that you're his, and, like, it was never a question. And I was like, I was born a little baby looking like an alien saying I look like something. Like, that is not how you determine who someone's dad is, right? Like, why didn't they get a DNA test, right? Anyways, whatever. I was mad. I was really mad at this point, right? So then I messaged him back and I was like, hey there, like, what makes you think that, right? And then, like, he told me, like, the story of how, like, my mom got pregnant and then said it was his. And then at first he was like, oh, no, that ain't mine, right? You know, because they were young. So he was like, no, that ain't my kid. So she was like, all right, whatever. And then, like, 2 weeks later, he was like, you know what? I'm ready to take responsibility and blah, blah, blah. She's like, no, don't even worry about it. It's not your kid, right? And then she blocked him. And, you know, like, back in those days, they didn't have, like, social media like we do now. So, like, he couldn't get a hold of her and anything, right? And then, I guess for, like, years, he was trying, like, let me see the baby. Like, I just want to see her and, like, make sure, you know, that she doesn't look like me or something. That she wouldn't let him see me. And whatever, dude. I don't know. I really don't know. There's, like, a lot of details to this that were definitely left out. And so, like, we're chatting, like, on Facebook, and I recently took a 23andMe, right, at this point. Not because I was looking, I don't know why I took it. I wasn't looking for a dad because I thought I already had a dad, right? I was just taking it for myself. I wanted to see, like, what parts of what I was and whatever, right? So I took it, and my dad was supposedly, like, 100% Guatemalan, right? So when I got my DNA results back from 23andMe, I had 0 Guatemalan in me. And I was like, huh, weird. I was like, maybe they just migrated. I don't know, right? I'm like, I didn't really care. And then, so then I messaged him, I'm like texting or messaging him on Facebook. I'm like, have you taken a 23andMe? Has anyone in your family taken a 23andMe? Like, what the heck is your, like, what percent of what are you? Right? And he's like, well, for, like, in my 23andMe, like, again, I had no Guatemalan, and the only Latin that came up in me was Puerto Rican, El Salvador, and Mexico, right? So I'm like, what are you? And he's like, I'm Puerto Rican, El Salvador, and Mexico. And I was like, oh, shit, right? And I was like, okay, this is a little crazy. Okay, I'm like, you need to take a 23andMe, and we can find out that way, right? I'm like, but it takes a long time to get the results. And then he was he's like, that's gonna take a long time. I'm just gonna order a DNA test, right? Like a paternity DNA test that we can both take, and we send it in to another clinic, because this dude is on the other side of the country. I'm in California, this dude is in Virginia, okay? Heck of far away. So he said he was gonna order that, right? And this all happened within like, this is like July 1st, 2nd, whatever. I ended up going on vacation to Mexico like July 3rd. Thank God, because my mind was like racing, you know, this is like a life-changing thing for me. And like, I would not have been able to work, you know, like this, I went to Mexico, and the whole time I'm just like, what the heck is happening, right? I'm like, it kind of makes sense, but then it doesn't. I'm like, this can be why I've always felt like something has been off with me. Like, I don't know, like I always felt like I was missing something, and I couldn't really like be my true self, because something, I don't know, something was missing, right? I'm like, okay, as soon as I get back, the only thing I could think of, as soon as I get back, the DNA test is going to be there, and I'm going to take it, I'm going to submit it, right? And then I'm on vacation, and we're like just messaging the whole time. And the thing is, when we were messaging, it's like I've known this person forever. Like, it felt so natural and comfortable. It was literally crazy, right? I was like, dude, maybe he is my dad, right? And so I'm on my trip, I get back, and the freaking test got lost in the mail, right? So I'm like, oh my God, the freaking suspense is killing me, right? So like, we have to resend another one, and then I have to go back to work, right? And I'm just like, I can't work, I can't think. I'm like, what is happening? I'm so like lost. It was literally like the craziest thing. And yeah, so super shocking and overwhelming. And the thing is, I didn't tell my mom that I was getting a DNA test. I didn't tell her that I was talking to him, because you know what, I'm grown, and she was obviously like opposed to the situation when I first like came to her, and like she was like kind of mad, right? So I didn't tell her that I was getting a DNA test. I did tell my brother, and my brother told my mom, right? So this happened when I was in Mexico. So my mom's like calling me, she's like, why are you doing this to me, and blah blah, like hecka mad at me. I'm like, okay, wait, I'm like, this is between me and him. Like, I'm a grown woman, I can do what I want. Like, if I want to get a DNA test, I'm gonna get a DNA test for my own peace of mind, right? Like, if he's not my dad, then whatever, he's not my dad, but at least I'll know, right? She was mad, dude. She was so mad. She's like, I'm gonna move away, I don't want to deal with any of this. And I was like, okay, like, this is like, you're doing a little too much right now. Like, I'm literally in Mexico, I'm already stressing over this, and you're adding to my stress, right? Like, you just need to calm down. And then my brother started getting mad at me. He's like, why are you making mom mad? Now she wants to move, and what am I gonna do? And I'm like, oh my God, guys, like, stop putting all this on me, right? Like, I'm literally just doing me, and I'm not doing anything wrong, right? It was horrible, right? It was a horrible time. And then, and eventually my mom started like, okay, you know what? If you want to get a DNA test, it's on you, right? Just the initial, like, she was really mad. And my brother was like, okay, like, I'm fine with you now too, sorry, blah, 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 right? Whatever, guys. You guys are assholes. I love you, but you're assholes. Okay, so then, yeah, we reordered the DNA test. We're still talking. Like, we talk every day, dude. It was, like, weird. Like, we would be talking from the time I woke up till the time I went to sleep. Like, just finding out things about each other, and it was, like, way too comfortable, right? Like, too simple. I was like, and then I started to get my hopes of like, man, like, I really hope this guy's my dad, because I've never, like, you know, had like a dad and like care about me and actually be searching for me. Like, that makes me feel like really good, right? Like, somebody wants me, right? And I'm getting a little emotional, but it felt good, right? I mean, I had my grandpa growing up, and he was like 100% my dad, and I love him with all my heart, and he like raised me and took care of me. But just to know that like this dude was out here like really looking for me and really like trying to have this relationship, it was like, I can't even explain. It was very overwhelming. And yeah, so I'm gonna leave it at this because this is already kind of long, and stay tuned for the next video. I mean, if you want to know the next thing, like the video, subscribe. I don't know how this works. I don't make YouTube videos, but so yeah, just hang in there.